Welcome back to Sims Complete. I'm your host, Matt Sims, alongside the man himself, Big Phil, the legend. This is the Sims Complete podcast on the Bleav Sports Network, brought to you by FanDuel. And we're inching closer and closer to the football season, big guy. It's pretty surreal, honestly. You were just mentioning, too, before we even started the show, how we didn't even really have a spring. It seems like we went right into from winter right into the summer and right into the heat of it. But, here we are post July 4th. And this is about the time where everybody in the NFL is like counting their last few days of, the little freedom that they have, right? The normal day-to-day stuff that, you really take for granted in the offseason, spending time with the family, relax and laying low here and there. And it starts to kind of ramp back up here pretty soon for everybody.
Oh, yeah. Once it gets inside, I'd say the magic number, once it gets inside 2 weeks, it's countdown.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I only got 12 days left, and you just count them all down. And am I in good enough shape? No, let me go out and run some. It's panic. And then you get there, and of course, as soon as you report, you kind of relax, and you're excited to be back with you guys, and you're excited to see how the season is going to turn out, not only for you but for the football team.
Yeah, no doubt. And even for the coaches as well, right? They're enjoying their last, few moments of freedom with the family and all that. Which is great. They should. Hopefully, 4th of July went well for everybody. I know we had a great time. But yeah, it does start to all of a sudden pick up a lot of momentum and steam here pretty soon. And it is amazing just like how quickly, it shifts into, here we go. We're going to camp. We're going to camp. We got it. Now, camp's been better than it's ever been, right? You don't go to, now, hey, that's actually a great point. Giants, their camps, they got a lot going on since they're redoing their facility over there. They got to go over there to Greenbrier for their camp this year. So that really is a camp environment for them. We got to pack up and get down there and have all your stuff for the dorm room, right? And that's set up. So that's always a fun challenge for the players getting that set up.
Yeah, the fun will only last a little bit because as I was at a function with a lot of the Giant players, gosh, coaches, we do a lot of running. Wow. That's really unique. I can't believe he does that to you. So, now we're going to see John Harbaugh. He's been great. And, everybody's excited about him and, just who he is, what he's accomplished. It's all awesome. And now the offseason is one thing. Now they're going to see the real John Harbaugh. He's coming out real soon.
Yeah.
And they got to win and play well and to solidify the job. Easy to say, hard to do. But who's your, my first one? Can I jump into that, or you got something else you want to talk about?
Yeah, let's go. Go ahead.
Well, I'm going to talk to him here later today, but it's Justin Herbert to me. The damn Chargers, I don't know if they'd have won a game if he was not the quarterback. Mm-hmm. He was under duress. He got hit. Oh, he didn't get hit. He got destroyed.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. That offensive line, injuries ruined it, but wide receiving group, we'll see. But I always say this. We had to draft NFL quarterbacks, you and me, and they're going to be the leader of our team. I always said Justin Herbert would be in the top 5 or 6 without question. And, he's got to get to the playoffs and win and maybe win a Super Bowl. Yeah, but you can't overcome one of the worst offensive lines. The coaching wasn't as sharp or as good as it should have been last year. Injuries, everything like that. And he held his end up.
Yeah.
I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah, no, he absolutely has. And I think the biggest thing for them is just, they're in that stage where they're transitioning from one coaching staff to, of course, Coach Harbaugh and his style and all that. They did that, I think, pretty well. There's definitely some growing pains with that. They got a lot of young, talented football players on their team. And, with young skill guys too, there comes growing pains, right? So when you can't protect your quarterback consistently, when you had a lot of injuries on the offensive line like they had, week after week, the quarterback did a great job of being competitive, being tough, hanging in there, and really, embracing the challenge. And I think now, they're very similar to a Buffalo in that sense, right? Where it's just, how much pressure can we constantly put on the quarterback, and can we alleviate a little bit of that pressure, right, by surrounding him with a better supporting cast, right? The defense has done some great stuff, but hey, now, new defensive coordinator, all that, right? Adjustments will be made, of course, because, Jesse Minter moved on. And, now for them overall as a team, It's got to be just how can we help our quarterback a little bit more be efficient in making plays more simply for him because of the greatness that he has, to be able to tap into.
And, I bring him up first for the biggest reason is Mike McDaniels is there.
Yeah.
And look what he did for Tua down in Miami.
Right.
And, he goes out there and he sees Justin Herbert. He goes, oh, my God. It's like, what do I order off the menu? Everything is great. And that, to me, that's really going to be, Tua there for what, 2 years, 2.5 years, running that offense down in Miami. I mean, it was kind of cutting edge.
Yeah.
And I expect the same thing out there with the Chargers. This is going to be a totally different looking team because of the offensive coordinator. And I think Jim Harbaugh is going to have a lot more fun managing the games than he did last year. So Mike McDaniels, hey, I don't know. I don't know what to say except he did a great job down there in Miami with the offense. Yeah. Everybody caught up to it, and the quarterback was limited in which throws he could make and couldn't make. They won't have that problem out in L.A.
Yeah, and, it's going to be a big year for Quentin Johnston, right, who started to kind of get his feet underneath him last year and started to make a little bit more of an impact. Of course, Ladd McConkey is extremely talented, but it just seemed like it was too much on Ladd too often. And I'm excited to see guys like Trey Harris, right, Ole Miss, kind of getting involved with it. They also drafted Brendan Thompson, right, out of Mississippi State, who is a very talented football player that has great speed and can press a team vertical. So they're doing a good job of adding different types of athletic personnel around him. Amari Hampton going into his second year now with this McDaniel offense, right, I think is pretty exciting. So we're definitely going to see a new look and approach to their run game. I think the play action game too with Herbert's going to be really interesting. The offense that he developed for Tua, like you mentioned, was one of a kind and unique. And I'm curious to see like what the adjustments will be now with a power thrower as opposed to a rhythm finesse thrower. And of course, coach is going to implement those concepts, right, of rhythm and finesse, right, for Justin Herbert. Yes. But there's no doubt I think he's going to be very creative with some of the setups for the power throws and some of the stuff that he can take advantage of moving forward.
We're going to see it all. It's going to be all. And it's, when he's going to show us opening day.
Right.
We're going to be, hopefully you'll be sitting there next to me and we're going to be tuned in to the Chargers. And I want to see it right away. There's a couple guys like that, even down in New Orleans, not to talk about him, but just down in New Orleans, Kellen Moore, the job he did last year, a quarterback that's veteran, Tyler Shuck, and played really well. And I think they kind of redid their team to a degree. That gives them a chance to win more. Just thought I'd throw that in there real quick. Yeah,
and excited for just, to put a little cap on the Chargers, right? Aronde Gadsden, the young man out of Syracuse who played a lot last year, right? Did a good job, right? They brought in David Njoku. So they brought in a veteran with the young guy. This new look offense, it's going to be a pretty good time there for Chargers fans to bolt up and to see what they can put together for this season. Who's another quarterback that's high on your list of excitement going into the year, big guy?
Well, let me go on the sad end here real quick.
Okay.
Malik Willis shows us everything. I just can't wait to see him be the starting quarterback and what's going to happen. And then, I see Miami, and what do I see? I just see a team that's kind of like going to get through the year and try to draft and, rebuild the team again. Man, it's hard for the quarterback to overcome the coaching and an offensive line. So we'll see how the coaching goes down there in Miami. But, I feel, whatever. Yeah, I just wish he was going to have a better chance. Maybe he will. Maybe they'll surprise us. But I think when we do see, we'll see bits and pieces of his talent, which I think is starting quarterback talent.
Yeah, agree. And I think when Malik Willis was first signed to Miami, we thought, all right, he's got a lot of great, talented football players around him. They went in a different direction this offseason. Now, I think the good thing is of course, like you still have Jalen Wright, right? You still have Devon Achane, right? You still have Ollie Gordon, right? Who is a big, strong physical back in the backfield. I think Chris Bell is a underrated draft pick that they got out of Louisville. Is a very talented young football player, big, strong, physical guy. They got Malik Washington, Jalen Tolbert, Tutu Atwell. So, hey, is it the group that like we were all anticipating for him to play with and going into the season? Not exactly, but I think overall this team is really just looking for just like being consistent, a little bit more physical, a little bit more toughness, right? Especially on the defensive side of the football. And, hopefully, coach can really kind of turn the tide as far as how the Dolphins are perceived as far as that goes, right? With their defense, with guys like Chop Robinson, Kenneth Grant, and the rest of the defensive line, and being a little bit more physically tough in the trenches now that, Vrabel and the Patriots, clearly we see the trajectory that they're on as an organization. We think that Aaron Glenn and the Jets, right, with a more veteran quarterback and, pretty talented skill group surrounding him, that they're going to have an upgraded year. So,
no doubt.
Malik Willis, be a vet and get it done with what you got and hang in there. And, hopefully they can get this thing turned around here and get a little bit more momentum going into the season.
Well, the other one, listen, real quick, we've done it before, but I think it's worth doing again. I think you understand up in Minnesota,
Minnesota.
Minnesota. If Kyler Murray doesn't win the job, then we're all going to, I think everybody will be shocked. And the worst thing that could happen to J.J. McCarthy is maybe to win the job and be the starter.
Yeah, right.
Let the season calm down a little bit after those first couple games where it's just crazy.
Yeah.
With, everybody's still full speed and no injuries, all that stuff. But yeah, let Kyler Murray get his first shot. I'm sure he's excited getting to work in a different offense, one that's gets the football down the field. Great receiving core, Kevin O'Connell. We know about what he can do. So, but it's another opening day. Man, I want to see it just to see what it looks like and how much the coach has changed with the quarterback.
Right.
So yeah, that's.
I think that,
it's going to be fun to watch.
And we mentioned this as well with another team, and it's a little different, of course, because Michael Penix, he won't be ready, right? Week one and all that. It does seem like he is way ahead of his, quote unquote timetable that they set for him in the offseason. He's participating in all that. But you would mention though too that people are a little surprised by just how different the skill set of the quarterbacks are there in Atlanta between Penix and Tua. And it's very similar though in Minnesota with the situation. Like, I wouldn't want Penix to win the battle against Tua. I wouldn't want JJ to win the battle over Kyler. Like, I want the vets to go out there. Hey, let's see what you got. Do your thing. And then, the young guys can kind of come in and save the day if they have to, or go in without the expectations or, all this stuff on their shoulders because they're the one that won the job, right? That, so I think they're both in a similar situation. But go ahead. You wanted to add some thoughts to the Michael Penix Tua thing there.
Yeah, I think you've said it. The fact the injury's there, and really, by the time he gets ready, I'm going to say just a number, week 6.
Yeah.
Well, the team is already kind of seeing how it's going and who they are. And the one thing I like about it, Stefanski, is Michael Penix, when he does get his shot, I think one of his great strengths is his downfield design to throw the ball.
Yeah.
He's got every damn wrinkle in the world in there for the quarterback and for his receiving core and then the offense. So that's a big thing. To me, Kevin Stefanski's got all these things. He's got all these plays. We look down the field. They ain't going to happen with Tua.
Yeah.
Now, the good thing is they're in a dome. He'll be fresh and all that. I'm sure he's worked hard on being in better shape. I don't, it's maybe not the right way to say it, but say that. But also to work on just really getting the football and seeing if you can throw it with a little more velocity to guys that are open down the field. That'll be really interesting to see.
Yeah, it definitely will. And let's go into that now for just just going forward, right? And Lindsay, our producer of the show, wanted to ask us this question, right? NFL's QB's biggest surprises for the 2026-2027 season, big guy. So I think, last year, who were the big surprises? It was the Trevor Lawrence, Sam Darnold, Drake May, just, hey, here they are, that quick ascension from where are they in no man's land to now being like, okay, they really can be these guys, these franchise level quarterbacks. And of course, no shocker either for really all of them. It's a lot about coaching and supporting cast really for all three of them.
Sure.
So who is someone that you see potentially this year kind of having that rise?
I think,
go ahead.
Yeah. The first thing, and just in a one-liner here, some big news and what we're going to be all over it is down in Houston. C.J. Stroud.
Okay.
How is he going to come back? I mean, he's got a lot to overcome. That's, he got scarred for the playoffs. So we'll see that. How about this? Geno Smith with the New York Jets.
Yeah.
With the coaching staff that they got now, which I really Bleav in and what they're going to do. And they're going to manage the hell out of these games. And we know, and you know more than anybody, Geno has still got enough. And I've heard other people talk about it on TV, which makes me feel good, that he still has that talent to be a starting quarterback.
No doubt.
And I think they're going to give him a better chance with play selection, play calls, offensive line, wide. I mean, I think it's sitting there not for him to be the MVP of the league, but to solidify the coaching staff, the quarterback position, and let the Jets can determine who they want in the future. But I think Geno Smith that'll be my first one right there.
Hey, talented offensive line, right?
Yep.
I would expect that they're going to be better at running the football, or at least a little bit more consistent running the football, right? Just because Geno now having the ability to be a more consistent down and out passer for them. Breece Hall, Braylon Allen, still talented as hell, right? Garrett Wilson, we know how good he is. Adonai Mitchell, big year for him, right? With the trade and all that. Now him coming through full offseason with the football team. Omar Cooper Jr., right, from Indiana. Super talented. Kenyon Sadiq. So, it's amazing. We're getting to this point now in the NFL where it's just about everybody has a damn good skill group, and that separation is it's small. It really is. From like a great skill group to like, all right, they're pretty good. On paper, they got some dudes that, have created some names for themselves in college football and had good college careers, and now it's like, can they piece it together as a group? And that's really, I think, the biggest challenge for Geno, right? Is adjusting to Frank Reich's offense and then getting some of these young guys to be pros sooner rather than later, right? And I think that's an exciting challenge, right, for Geno going into this season with this young crew.
Yeah, I think the big thing is, but it's not like I'm, Geno, I expect him to do well, but it's not like we're all focusing on him because it's the way the team was last year. They got a new offensive coordinator in Frank Reich. So that Musgrave is there with him to help out, which I've said many times.
Yeah.
Solidify the defense and give the quarterback a better chance, which they will. They're going to manage the game where it's not going to be all about the damn quarterback. And they're going to make sure he doesn't get hit as much as he did last year in running. They know how to block it up more, get rid of the ball. Lots of things going there where we got a veteran coaching staff with a veteran QB. So they can manage it and just make the team better from that aspect.
Yeah, and I mean, listen, they protected Justin Fields well last year. They did. He just held on to the football and was indecisive too consistently, for him, and really ended up hurting himself, more so, than anything else, right? Than just like poor offensive line play.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I disagree a little bit. Like, I think, the Jets fans, like, they're going to be all over Geno. They are. So even when they signed him and all that, like, there was a little bit of an uproar there. Of course, the way that they went and got him. So it doesn't matter. Like, that's just part of Jets culture there. It's going to be all about Geno, right? So Geno really needs to just kind of be a great game manager. And I would say, like, one thing that has kind of plagued Geno's career a little bit in his past is that he's sometimes a little too aggressive with his decision-making and can be prone to turning the football over. So if he could just play, a little bit more of that veteran savvy style with his skill guys and know that eventually, right, with their talent, they're going to break through. I do think that this team really does have a good chance of having a solid year, especially too with David Bailey. Super excited to see, the edge rusher off out of Texas Tech, right, coming off the edge with Will McDonald.
Well, here you go. Geno is let's see, I'm just trying to do this right. It's the job of the head coach to manage the game. And without question, not even close, he's close to the head coach. Managing the game next is the quarterback.
Yeah.
So understand the score 7-3. Let's don't take a chance, whatever, because the defense, and you got to do that. He's got to be taught that. If he had last year, it was wicked out there in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
But he would escape and just keep going forward, trying to make this great play. And man, that's when you get in trouble. And I would say that was the one thing that Geno did last year, that you just go, you've been in the league too long.
Yeah.
Man, just you got to be right there with the coach. The two of you need to manage the game together.
Well, that's what's interesting too, because Aaron Glenn didn't exactly show, right,
No, he
that
didn't.
he has tremendous experience last year in managing the game. So that's really probably the biggest thing that I would think that he probably focused on this offseason, is just being a better head coach, game manager, big picture and all that. And a lot of that was the dysfunction of the quarterback play and the offense and not having any rhythm at all. But yeah, that's some big things, right? Like that's
Sure.
that it's easy for us to say, very hard to implement that for your football team and do it consistently. And that's really, I think, where Aaron Glenn, they struggled last year. They just didn't have enough consistent good play on the offense side of the football to build any positive momentum. And you could just see it, like every week they were kind of falling apart on the sideline because they just couldn't get anything going. So, that's where for them, like, maybe do less and do it well. And then grow from there, right? As a group and build momentum into it.
Matt, that's what they're going to do. I mean, Frank Reich it's going to be a tight ship. It's not going to be, let's go out there and try to score 30 today. No, we're going to just see how the game goes and how it flows and make decisions accordingly. And that's, of course, that's always overlooked. And the Jet fans, well, okay, what's the old saying? Listen to the fans and you'll be sitting next to them really soon. So, it's not going to.
Well, they love it. They love it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Well, who's another quarterback, though, that you got on your list? So we talked about CJ Stroud a little bit. Big year for him, of course, right, of the scars and all that from last year. How does he bounce back from that? Geno Smith, big year as well for him. I know there's another guy that's high on your list. I'm looking at his name right now. I'm curious if you say it.
Well, the one I want to just talk about is I have a little – it's just funny listening and hearing and what people write or whatever. Deshaun Watson in Cleveland.
Okay, yeah.
I think the name and past success, we're really believing in him. And I got to see it to believe it. Injuries, lack of playing time over the years.
Right.
In Cleveland sitting there. And are they looking at him going, we want him to be our future quarterback, even after this year is over? I think this is his last year of guaranteed money. Is that right?
I don't know. Yeah, but either way. Yeah.
Yeah, but I just think, does he still have the skill, which we didn't see in Cleveland, his playing time up here, but we saw it down in Houston. Can he get close to something like that? And I think that's the only way he can save his job more than 1 year. Cleveland's going to do what, Matt? Big year for quarterbacks coming out. They're going to find a way to get another quarterback. So
let's go real quick with the FanDuel odds, right, for comeback player of the year right now. So the 2026-2027 NFL comeback player of the year. We got Patrick Mahomes plus 200. We got Jaden Daniels plus 430. Kyler Murray plus 550. Like that one. Aaron Donald plus 1,400. Interesting. Micah Parsons plus 1,800. Travis Hunter plus 2,500. So that's an interesting group right there. Out of that group, man, of course, the quarterbacks kind of have the head start there, right? With just being able to have the football on every damn play. Interesting with the Micah Parsons. I'd be careful of that one just because of just how explosive of an athlete he is. But, what's a name right there, big guy, that really catches your eye going into this football season?
Well, Aaron Donald catches my eye more than any of them.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm just being a fan. I want him to come back and play. Just
really?
I want to see it, and that'll be awesome. But the two guys you said, Kyler Murray and Jaden Daniels.
Right.
To me, it'll take injuries to keep them from being the comeback player of the year.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's gonna be one of those.
Yeah, I think it's safe. Like, I guess I'm leaning a little bit more towards Kyler, right? In that sense, just feel like there's just, the coaching staff, the skill players around him, just, I don't know, like being inside, Minnesota and all that, home field advantage in the dome that way, I feel like could be really good for him. The other thing is too that I find interesting is, like the Aaron Donald thing, like that would be scary. That would be awesome.
It really is amazing. But I think if the public, the media, everybody.
Yeah.
I think everybody's sitting there going, boy, that would be awesome if he comes back. But, too, I don't know, too. It'll be interesting. He worked so hard to be the player that he was.
Yeah.
Can he restart that and get that going again the same way? I guess.
Did he ever stop it? That's the question, too. Because
Well,
it wasn't within like that long away, far away from retiring. And, now it's like, what do you tell Aaron Donald? Hey, Aaron, we just need 15 awesome snaps for you. Yeah. And out of the 15, you're going to be right next to Myles Garrett. So, have fun, man. Have fun. And we got Kobe Turner and Poona Ford and Brandon Fisk on the other side causing great one-on-ones. Oh, yeah, and Byron Young, too. So, let's not forget about him. Oh, so, yeah. Man, that could be a really scary crew right there.
Yeah, and you know what? The Rams will do right by him. I mean, you could always use a little more cash. So, you get out there I can't even relate to it. He's made so much money. Even if he sits out, it's not gonna. He's still like, hey, I still got a lot of money.
Yeah.
So, but just for the knowing that they have a tremendous chance to go and win the Super Bowl. Yeah, that would be the big reason why he would come back.
Yeah, right. No, totally. Well, Big Guy, any closing words? I'm surprised you didn't go with Cam Ward. I thought you were going to mention Cam Ward as someone that could jump up, for this offseason. I think he's pretty high on both of our lists, right? We just didn't mention him in that time.
I have him down here. Yeah, you know why? He changed the way he was playing last year. Let's just pick a number, the last 4 or 5 games.
Right.
Well, Brian Daboll down there, you don't think he's got his ass is burning up, baby. He wants us. He's going to go for it. I mean, so it's going to be
he's got some fresh dunks. He's ready to go. Yeah. He's got some new cigars over there to smoke. Okay. After practice. Yeah. So I know. I agree.
It's a great mix. It really is between the two, I think. And this will be fun to watch. Man, we got a lot of good stories in the NFL. That would be one that Tennessee might get a little more publicity and more eyes on them because of Brian Daboll and the quarterback who learned how to play NFL football.
Yeah, no doubt. So. Well, Big Phil and I going with Kyler Murray for FanDuel's odds for comeback player of the year coming up this year. I think it was plus 550. Memory serves me correct. But thank you so much for joining us again. This is Sims Complete Podcast on the Bleav Sports Network, brought to you by FanDuel. He's Phil Sims. I'm Matt Sims, and we will see you next time.
Mm-hmm.
That's right, Phil.